Yeah, they really tried to knock me down, but they didn't knock me down. I've been through some ups and downs, but I still keep my smile. I'ma make my mama proud. I'm a king, I'ma rock my crown. They really tried to knock me down, but they didn't knock me.
Peace, life, and love. We're here with another episode of Peace TV. You rocking here with your host, Brother Peace. And who we got here today rocking with Brother Peace?
What's up, y'all? My name is Izzy.
Okay, Izzy, you want to let the people know a little bit about yourself and where you're coming from, good brother?
Yeah, y'all. So, my name is Izzy. I've got a small company here in Oakland called Liberation.Welness, and I'm a fitness and wellness coach. And we really focus on bringing people an approach to fitness, health, nutrition, in a holistic way that is community-oriented, that is really a lifestyle choice, a lifestyle change, and one where it's putting yourself, your family, and what's most important to you first.
That's powerful, brother. We'll give thanks. I'm grateful to share space with you today here on Peace TV. And here on my platform, it's a space where I hold space for peace and perspectives, to be shared, So I would like to get your perspective of peace, as I look at life, there are many of human beings on this planet, and we all have different walks of life and all have different examples of how we tap into different things, that cultivates and activates peace within us. So I would like to just express, what does peace at first look like to you, your own personal perspective?
Yeah, so we were kind of talking earlier, right, about our own journey in finding peace, and what that looked like for us. And I was telling you where I was coming from, and I told you part of where I came from, right, where I was, and part of my journey in finding fitness and wellness, right. I was in the military. I was in the Coast Guard for 9 years. Joined when I was 18, and I got out when I was 27. I was actually medically separated, because at that point I had gotten injured so many times. I was pretty broken. I'd broken my back in a motorcycle accident, my couple ribs. I had several ACL surgeries. I had arthritis in my knees at 26, in my wrist at 26. I was in bad shape. I was getting injections from the doctor's office every other week. I was on so many different medications, and it was destroying my body. And same time, right, I was completely unaligned with what I was doing with my life. I was in the military, and that's just not who I am. I came to it from a place of wanting to be peaceful, right? I chose the Coast Guard for a reason, right? I really valued, at that time when I was a kid, I valued the structure, right, of military, but I specifically, I don't want to go to war. I grew up and I was 11 years old during 9/11, when 9/11 happened, and I grew up in this country Muslim. I'm in Egypt. My families are, immigrants from Egypt. I was the only one in my family born here, but spent time growing up in Egypt as well before coming back to the United States. Egyptian Muslim, the experience here, you can imagine it wasn't great after 9/11, right? So there's this sense of wanting to be patriotic, to prove something, right? But not wanting to be involved in those wars because I didn't believe in them. But the Coast Guard for me was a way to do both, because the Coast Guard was a search and rescue service, right? The number one mission of the Coast Guard is to save lives before anything else. So that's why I felt really good about that choice at the time, and I still do, But it is part of the military, and it did take me away from that piece. And that's what I recognized after a long time. What I came to realize, after a while, was I had no idea what that was for me. I had no idea what my direction was, because I didn't know what peace was for me. And through a lot of learning, through my experiences in the military, through my experiences out of the military, was really to come to terms with what my time in the military meant for me, and how it changed, my life. And I had to come to terms with now that without the military, like it had warped me so much that I didn't know what direction I wanted to take anymore. I didn't know how to find peace in my life or to help others find peace in their lives, you know, because it really just, it warped me so much. For me, it took getting back to my roots to find that peace and starting to realize that peace for me is family, it's community, it's building security for our people. You know, it's building a world where we don't have to rely on others for our well-being. We don't have to ask for politicians to grant us special privileges or to allow us to not be killed. You know, it's us working, putting our heads down and grinding to build communities where we protect ourselves, we provide for ourselves, we take care of ourselves. You know, we have the freedom to love, laugh, live, eat good food, smoke good weed, eat some good mushrooms, you know. And that's where our goal is, to build community, not to work for someone else, to chase a dollar. That's for me what peace is.
A beautiful perspective of peace, and I have faith that you keep building on that, brother, along your journey and aligning with people who respect that and have those values around peace as well, bro. So, as of right now in your journey, you know, you say you're a fitness trainer. You know, you tapping into the health and wellness aspect of things. You'll say that really brings you peace? You feel me?
Absolutely.
Okay. How long have you been getting into that? The health and wellness aspect and fitness?
Yeah. So, on and off, kind of most of my life, I've always been active, right? But not enough to be athletic, I would say, right? And once I joined the military at 18, I actually struggled with my health and my fitness a lot. Immediately started gaining weight. Tried going to the gym a lot. You know, I worked out sometimes, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I started, you know, pretty young. Like, started going to the gym, lifting weights at like 17, 18. But honestly, I just didn't have any success, and eventually just gave up and started just gaining weight and getting depressed, and just I felt like it wasn't for me. When I got out of the military, when I was 27, I got really, I was looking for a job, and I found a really amazing job as a personal trainer, where they would actually, it was kind of a mentorship where they would train you, take you through the process. Also, they would train you to be a trainer and also train you to get in shape and to do it for yourself. And so I got to do that for a couple months, got into shape. You know, it was kind of like a self-paced, do-it-for-yourself thing, you know. So I had to learn everything myself. I had to study in the books every single day. But in a few months, I learned a lot. And after that, I went after another course, got another certification in personal training. So that was in 2017. But I gave up on it pretty quickly because I didn't like the industry. Just the fitness industry is kind of crappy, honestly. It's just full of people trying to kind of profit off of people who are miserable in their body. And so I just found out I didn't want to be part of it. So I got out, and I just was finishing, you know, focusing on going to school. But it wasn't until this past year, after the George Floyd shooting and the Black Lives Matter uprising, where, you know, I got deeply involved in the community afterwards, here in Oakland and in San Francisco. And people were really caring a lot about what they were doing for the community, but they weren't taking care of themselves, and people didn't know how to take care of themselves. And so I was finding myself really trying to figure out what I was going to do in my life, and realizing like that was something that I'd been doing for myself for a long time, learning more and more and more since I got out of the military. At 27, it's just been going to school, but really every other part of my life has been spent like studying fitness, strength training, nutrition, because this was important to me and realized I needed it for my body. So I picked up working it, doing it very seriously for community and for working for myself just this past year, like winter of 2020.
That's divine, brother. Why do you feel like it's important, you know, for our people to tap into physical fitness and health and wellness?
Yeah, that's the key right there. That I'm really I'm trying to work so hard to like bring to people is I mean we don't appreciate our bodies enough. We don't appreciate our health enough. You know, we especially especially our people, especially the African diaspora. Um, Everybody from Africa, anyone who's got roots with Africa, right? Like we've got such a traumatized history, and it's put us in a place where we often don't recognize our own needs, and we put the material gains in front of us ahead of our own health, right? Like a lot of our people are struggling. You know, a lot of people are fighting every day to provide for their families. You know, a lot of people are where we've gone through so many different traumatic events, both generationally and in our own lifetime, that it's put us in places where we don't have that space to focus on our health and our fitness. And not only that, we're not even able to realize so many times how much it's affecting us when we're not doing that. And so that's where it's come from for me, is that it's so important that you can't force anyone to do anything. You can't tell anyone anything they don't want to hear. But if they're ready to hear it, you can share with them, and so that's where I want to come in, is when people, they're looking for that help, try to figure out what can I do to find balance in my life? Why am I struggling so much? I've got resources for them, I've got the skills and knowledge to help them reach that place, to find balance in mind, body, and spirit, and I'm not master trainer who can fix anyone, but I can give you the tools to help yourself.
That's dope, brother. Shout out to our physical vessels in this life, because that's something that, at a young age, that's not something that has been pushed on us, to really honor our temples, and taking care of it, So that's very vital, and I appreciate you tapping into that aspect in this life, bro. I heard you also mention it within your expression about working with some plant medicines.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely would like to get your perspective on plant medicines, because me, coming up from Richmond, California, in my environment, that's not something that a lot of people promoted. More so, weed is a plant medicine. In the hood, definitely people smoking a lot of weed, but plant medicines in the sense of like other plant medicines and natural substances that can alter our consciousness and assist us in our journeys in our lives. I would like you to just share your perspective around some plant medicines that you're aware of and information you got on it.
Absolutely. So, I think this is where we really connected, because I saw your art at Lake Merritt, and you had the Egyptian artwork with the psychedelic medicine, the mushrooms, and that hit me hard, because I'm Egyptian, and mushrooms absolutely changed my life. Mushrooms absolutely changed my life completely. I wouldn't be here without mushrooms, and that's not even saying that lightly. Like the change that it made in me, nothing about who you see in front of you today would exist without that medicine. And I say that also with the note that mushrooms can't do anything for you, right? Like, we know that mushrooms are not going to give you the answers. They're a tool. You can take that tool and use it correctly, right? Or you can use it in a way that is not correct, right? Where it's not going to be conducive to your health, to your growth, right? And so, and I say that because it's really important that we don't get away with the idea that we just give it away, like, oh yeah, just take mushrooms and you'll find the answers to everything. No, there's got to be intention there, right? We have to take the time to understand, like, why am I taking this? Is this just for fun? Am I kind of just hoping for a cop-out? Or am I going to sit here and like look myself in the mirror and face the harsh truths and understand that I have growth? I have ways that I can develop as a person. I've made mistakes, and there's a lot of ways for me to learn. And this is a tool that will help me look inward and learn, right? And so that's how I approached it. I approached it really with this desire to evaluate myself and engage my personal growth, because I was in a really difficult period of my life when I started using mushrooms. So it was right after I got out of the military, about a year and a half after I got out of the military. was really kind of, like I mentioned, lost after I left the military because it really warped my senses and warped my perception of what I wanted to do in my life, or what I felt was good to do in my life. I got out at 27, was scrambling to find work and make money. Got married actually, and it went really bad. And I got divorced after a year. And this is all these things fell together at once, and it kind of culminated in me. I'd spent at that point over a year doing research on psilocybin mushrooms, and without ever once touching them. And I found myself in a really dark place, like the lowest I'd ever been in my life. And I decided, I'd looked for people to kind of guide me. I looked for like friends or anyone who could like hold space for me to do it. But I eventually ended up just doing it by myself. And I took mushrooms and I started just doing a series of like progressively larger doses. And I started at 7 grams over 12 hours, right, on a full stomach. So it was a pretty light trip. That was my first journey. And that was just kind of like experience it. And then after that, I started doing really structured doses where I did 3.5 grams in tea form, like pretty empty stomach. And then 4.5 grams, and then 5 grams, and then 5.5 grams. And then 5.5 grams took me around the universe and back, and just like completely changed my perspective about everything. And I came out of that trip, and I immediately like shifted direction in my life. I started Googling. I found a school that aligned with my values. I found the California Institute of Integral Studies. At least, how I felt it allowed me to study what I wanted to study, which was psychedelic medicine and healing practices. I immediately dropped my computer science degree that I was going after and transferred to this school within the summer. I had this trip in March or May. I was applying to enroll like the next month. I was like in the process of enrolling. And I dove deep into studying psychedelic medicine, and eventually just beginning to understand the connection between the mushrooms, the medicines that I was using, and the visions that I was having I was having a lot of Egyptian visions, right? And that's kind of what was throwing me off, because I didn't understand why I was seeing Egyptian visions so much in mushrooms, when I had this belief that mushrooms were just like this medicine that came from North and South America, and it was only used by the indigenous people here. Once I dove deep into the research, I started to find like really credible information about the history of ancient Egypt and Africa with mushrooms and other medicines, and I just became like enraptured, and it dove me deeper. It helped me dive deeper into it, because it helped me understand that this wasn't like a one-off. It wasn't just some people, some cultures use this. No, this is like all over the world. I started to find everywhere this medicine was used, right? And there had to be like, it felt like there was a reason for that. Like it just can't be an accident that, it's kind of like when you think about food, right? Like there's certain foods you'll find all over the world, right? Different varieties of like parsley or cilantro or tomatoes, like just basics that are like, you find different varieties of them all over the world. There's kind of a reason. They're like a basis to our nutrition, right? Like they're the core of foods here that are provided for us, and they're important for us. They're nutritious. They have a lot of nutrients that we can't get anywhere else, right? Maybe medicine like psilocybin mushrooms is like that too. There's a reason for it, the reason why it's available everywhere, the reason why it grows prolifically, the reason why cultures all over the world manage to get their hands on it and have very similar experiences. Like I mentioned to you earlier in our conversation about how the crowns, like cultures all over the world tended to use, who use mushrooms, eventually tended to make something like a mushroom crown, right, where they wear it on the head. And you look at ancient Egypt, and you start to realize a lot of their crowns are actually really shaped after mushrooms, right? Especially look at the triple crown. It's literally just 3 mushrooms. Or you start to find mushrooms in all the hieroglyphs, right? And it's just everywhere, right? And so it made me realize that there's a really powerful reason why this medicine exists everywhere. And like, personally, I haven't used them in like now probably over a year. Because it's, like I said, it's a tool. You use it when you have a reason for it, right? Otherwise, it can start to escape you. But as a whole, though, like, it is something that I realize is also integral when, like, entering this world of fitness and wellness and health. It's not counterproductive or mutually exclusive to experiment with these medicines and then also say that I'm going to work out and care for my body and care for my nutrition, because these medicines help you learn how to. You know, like, there's a way to use, like anything, they can be damaging to you if you use them incorrectly, or they can really do good for your body. They can help you learn how to care best for your body and learn how to take direction in your life even.
Yeah, definitely, bro. The plant medicine, the mycelium network is very vast and infinite, I would say, just like you expressed, brother. And it's very key in the healing and elevation of our people, bro. But it's just been shunned away. It's been hidden, you know. But I appreciate you going along your journey, diving deep to expand your awareness to see that it's dominant around the world, bro. Like, it's very dominant. So definitely pushing that within my music and my lifestyle and my art to encourage more of our people to just open your mind to getting back into these natural tools that's been here to assist us on our journey and elevation, man. So, as of right now, brother, what do you do? You know, I want to tap back into the frequency of peace. So, what do you do when some things come at you that may disturb your peace? Or, like, say, have you been taken out of your peace or, you know, irritated? What are some things you do to get you right back in that vibration? Just to give our people some examples, because there's a lot of people struggling to have peace within.
Honestly, first thing I do is breathe. You know, deep diaphragm breaths. Bring my focus to my breath. Release the tension in my body. Let the energy flow through me. Right? Take a step back and evaluate. There's one thing I learned is just be like water. You know, like, just kind of corny, but like Bruce Lee said, right? Like, be like water. Like, if you can learn to just flow, breathe, move through things, or let things move past you, you find a lot more direction and a lot more ease moving through life. Things come to you a lot easier because you're moving towards them, right? As opposed to getting stuck. And so I get frustrated all the time, right? And I just have to remind myself that there's nothing to gain from it. And that's just, I just, for myself, I realize I have to take a very logical approach. So there's nothing to gain from this frustration. So what's the point, right? So breathe deep, let go of the frustration, and keep moving forward.
The breath is life. The breath is key, like he said. So take some notes right there. If you're going through some situations or an experience where you feel like you're getting took out of your peace, take the time to just breathe first and release and just observe that situation before you just act without thinking, you know. So that's very vital. Also, I would like to get your perspective around meditation, because meditation, I feel like definitely is in the realm around peace. You feel me? Having that peace within, tapping in with yourself. I would like you to share your perspective of meditation or what that looks like to you, and how do you tap into your own personal meditations?
Yeah, so meditation I love meditation, and to me it's also one and the same as breath work, you know, as just deep breath. When I first approached meditation, it was terrifying to me. The idea of sitting still for like 5 minutes and just not thinking, right? It's terrifying. I can't do that. But, you know, again, I picked up meditation when I was like 27, 28. And tried a few times and it wasn't bad. And actually, it wasn't until a mushroom trip, it wasn't until the first time I had a successful meditation, and it was completely accidental. I was on the beach in Fort Funston in San Francisco, and I just took a small dose, and I was just hanging out on the beach, and like after like 15 minutes, I'd realized I'd been sitting there for like 15 minutes without thinking or doing anything and just breathing. I was like, oh shit, this is meditation. And so it hit me like, this is why it's so good, just being able to sit here and breathe and not think about anything, right? Just think about being in yourself, right? And I also just realized like it's really hard for me to sit down and meditate. Just set aside time for 10 minutes every day or 20 minutes or whatever. And things get in the way, there's noises, you live in the city. And so I made it an effort to learn, like, how do I gain the benefits of meditation without doing the standard meditation? And what I realized is meditation is, you can meditate any way. You can walk and meditate, you can work out and meditate. It's all about your breath work. And so I think meditation is really important. And as long as you remember that you don't need to sit there still and just blank out your mind. That doesn't have to be a meditation. You can meditate while driving your car. You can meditate while taking a walk. You can meditate in the gym. You can meditate while doing things. The key focus, while sweeping the floor even, right? But the key focus is breath work, focusing on your breath, and not just any breath. It's got to be deep into your diaphragm. And letting that breath work be your foremost thought. And like when thoughts come in, just let them go. Acknowledge they exist. Acknowledge those thoughts are coming in. There's a reason why they came to you in those moments. Don't get caught in the frustration of feeling that, upset that you thought about something, and just let it go, push it to the side, and just learn from that, right? And so that you can take that anywhere. You can do that sitting, or you can take it to whatever feels good for you. So I just encourage people to feel that they can meditate without feeling it needs to be like a cliche, Buddhist temple kind of meditation.
Okay. Thank you for touching on that. I definitely have to get your perspective because there are many layers and examples of meditation, man. You don't have to just, like he said, you don't have to just be sitting there and being in your mind and just observing yourself. Sometimes it's hard for people to really sit with themselves, man, and that's just a reality. But like for me personally, I have many versions of meditating, like painting, doing my music, tapping in with my daughter. Like there are many forms for me to tap into my meditation to align me with peace within myself. So give thanks to the vibration of meditation. How do you feel about loving yourself as a man? In this country, growing up, to me, that wasn't something that was promoted to me or something that was popular about loving yourself. I honestly didn't start really hearing about that term until about like around 2016, 17, that started coming into my consciousness about loving yourself, and I'm seeing people promote that. How do you feel like, how do you feel about loving yourself as a man and the importance of that?
Yeah, I'm running that same alley with you. I grew up here. Also was like a pretty, like with Egyptian culture, which can be very toxic masculine sometimes. But that was something that I had to do a lot of work on to learn. Like it's okay to appreciate yourself, to love yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it shouldn't even be a debate. It's like, it's kind of insane that we're talking about it. Like, of course you should love yourself, if you don't love yourself, who is going to? And if you don't love yourself, quite frankly, why should anyone else, right? Like, if you feel that that you can't love yourself and you need someone else to love you first, that signifies some work that needs to be done there, right? And that's not a bad thing. But it's acknowledging that you can't do best for yourself until you do best for yourself, right? Like no one can do best for you. No one can give you what you need until you give it to yourself first. And when people see you give it to yourself, they'll appreciate you for what you are and they'll value you for who you are. I think it's important. Like, love yourself. You need to love yourself.
Yes, you need to love yourself, and I definitely have to just bring that topic up because I grew up around a lot of people who deal with a lot of insecurity, don't have confidence. So there are a lot of people out here who don't love themselves genuinely, and they mask it with other things, so definitely have to just bring that up, especially for the women as well. We want all of our brothers and sisters to love themselves, but I'm tapping in with the masculine energy with my brother right now, and just it's vital to love ourselves. Like I definitely went through stages of depression or insecurity in my life or been around others, and what really helped me with reprogramming myself and uplifting my spirit is writing affirmations, and reaffirming things to big up my spirit and reminding me that I am powerful and I'm capable of doing whatever I want. So give thanks. Do you have any other things you feel is vital or necessary you would like to share with our people, good brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
What's some other stuff we may need to be aware of, brother?
we gotta be building right now. All of us. If we're not working to be building for our communities, for our families right now, we're kind of fucking ourselves. That's just the truth. Like I'm not even trying to sugarcoat it. Quit your fucking job. Start working for yourself. Get the fuck out of that job. Stop it. You shouldn't be working for someone who doesn't give a fuck about you. If your company's more than like maybe 20 people tops, like it's just too big. Like you gotta be in community. And you can't be working for a boss you don't fucking know. You need to be building for your community right now. You need to be building for your family, because no one else gives a fuck about us. If we're not doing it for ourselves, no one else is. We can go out in the streets and march and protest and demand all day. That's not gonna do shit. It's not gonna give us what we need. We gotta build for ourselves. Start grinding. Start figuring out every single one of you has a special something. You've all got something you could do. You've all got a skill. Something that makes you uniquely you. Put that to work. Work for yourself. Stop working for people who don't give a shit about you. And then getting mad when they don't give a shit about you. Build your communities now.
Ooh. Yeah, we gotta be building. That's definitely vital in these times, man. But I see it's a lot of people, like you said, you gotta quit these jobs. A lot of people attached to their jobs, brother. There's a lot of people can't really see past that job and see them tapping into a skill set or creating, something for themselves to accumulate currency. So it's a lot of fear around that. But I definitely believe in our people. They can, like that's what we doing, man. Putting out the energy and, we have ups and downs with this shit too. Like just like at your job, you have ups and downs and shit. Like that's just gonna come with the journey of life. But we are very capable. But it all starts with believing in yourself and having that vision and surrounding yourself around people who are supportive around that vision and encouraging you to stay on that path. You feel me? So we really got to build, like you said, like deep down, that company don't really care about your true human nature. This society don't really care about the majority of us. It doesn't, and it doesn't matter. Like it's to a point where all races are under this oppression and manipulation and going through all type of shit. So it's like, I really feel like it's a time to build and strengthen numbers and encouraging more people to work for themselves, man. Like we really got to build community in these times. Like it's been too much separation too on this planet, man. Like so much shit that's separating us, religion, our different lifestyles, you feel me? Like, and all these different things like race, like we got to stop that, because at the end of the day, we're all sharing space on this planet. The planet is providing for each and every human being on this plane. So why not have some respect for each other? Because the earth has respect and love for us, and then have respect for the earth. You feel me? And that's something, like going back to the mycelium, the mushrooms has taught me that on my journey, bro. Like just having compassion for myself and my being and others and the planet. Like when my first time having a real spiritual awakening with the mushrooms was very deep, bro. And it was a beautiful experience. Like at first it was a beautiful ride. I'm having fun. I'm just tapping into and seeing more of my being and expressing more of myself, like how I truly want to. And then like going to a period of me just being too free out in nature, and I had failed because I was just being a little too wild. But as soon as I tried to get up, like I couldn't get up. I had to sit there, and I felt like the earth grabbed me. Like I felt stuck on the earth, and I sat there for like at least 20 minutes just like crying and releasing and going through this purging like process, like realizing that I went through a lot of conditioning and lies and stuff. All this shit was just bullshit was just pouring out of me, and I felt the earth connection and the earth speaking to me and being one with the earth. Like, it's all the consciousness, it's all existence, it's all the spirit, and we're all connected in this web of life, this web. You feel me? So I got that perspective and a deeper awakening, a sense of my being, and being more in harmony with myself and the earth, and having a respect for the earth. Like, now when I'm out in nature and shit, I realize there's a consciousness, there's a spirit in the trees and everything, bro. Like, you just gotta acknowledge it. Like, you know, like, the trees are rooted from the earth. These things have been here before we existed. So that's a divine intelligence, truly. But we don't look at it as an intelligent entity that's supporting our existence with the oxygen every day. You feel me? So all these things was just clicking in me like, damn, this shit is deep. But it's like every day you look at it like it's just a still entity that's not existing, but it's a living, breathing entity just like you. Maybe our perceptions have been brought to a lower level of perception. And that's why I feel it's vital. Like you said, we got to start building and come together so we can heal and develop higher ways of thinking and higher consciousness. You feel me? And be more in line with harmony. You feel me? So I definitely feel that on my path and my journey. And just want to keep getting different perspectives and just different people sharing their testimonies and wisdom. Like, brother, you shared a lot of wisdom that I have faith that people are genuinely just taking the time to receive this and taking some notes and feeling inspired and want to tap into their health and wellness and their physical fitness. Like the brother said, he started pretty late in his journey, about 27, 28, you know, like, and that's where I'm at. I'm 28 right now, and it's like I'm ready to make some shifts. Like, I definitely was an athlete majority of my life, but I got shot in 2016, and some years it just slowed me down from really getting active how I used to. You know, and I'm an Aries, so I'm a fire sign, so I got a lot of fire, and it's like I got to have healthy ways to channel that fire. And as in late, I've been using my fire in a lot of art and music, but definitely spirit is gravitating to just strengthening this physical vessel because it has got weaker through being a survivor of violence, you know. So I'm going to keep building on the frequency of peace and health and wellness and healing, and you'll see more of me and the good brother, you feel me? Yes, gratitude for your time and presence today, brother. Anything else you would like to share before we get up out of here? Or if the people want to keep up with you, how they can keep up?
I just want to say thank you for this. I'm excited to be on this show with you. I'm excited to be working with you more. I'm excited to be. Brother Peace is going to be working out in our gym soon. We're really excited about that. And you know, I'm Liberation.Welness on Instagram. Give us a follow. And say hi. You know, we're always trying to engage the community, and we're hoping to do some more community engagement events soon.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate you. Tap in with the good brother. I'll have his information down in the description and everything, so you can keep up and tap in. It's all life and love and peace.
Yeah, they really tried to knock me down, but they didn't knock me down. I've been through some ups and downs, but I still keep my smile. I'ma make my mama proud. I'm a king, I'ma rock my crown. They really tried to knock me down, but they didn't knock me down. I'm Brother Peace coming out of Richmond, not tryna be like these other niggas, I'm coming different. All these positive vibes got me feeling uplifted. Took a couple shots, I'm so glad I'm living.